what's screwed up is like, I was hunting him in the totally wrong area.
No way.
That whole time. I feel like even now, like the amount of time I'm putting in to see a big bull, like I feel like you're like everyday guy, just like weekend warriors going out there and being on, it seems like, you know, Instagram's a highlight reel, but it seems like guys are on big bulls every weekend. And it's like this year, I didn't see really a good bull till muzzleloader. And I'm out there 3-4 days a week, like taking a lot of time off work. Like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of bulls, but not, I don't know, nothing great.
So you killed a bull, got humbled a couple of years.
Yeah. And then this sucked. So there was,
And then what was the next?
it was like a 340. I was actually in there in the summer scouting deer, which was dumb. I think I saw like 2 does the entire weekend. Like, this sucks. But I'd seen a pretty good bull in there in the velvet, and I was like, well, I'll just give it a shot. And like cruised in there. It was like 3rd day of season and glassed him up at last light. And I was like, oh, well, that's probably the biggest bull I've seen. Like, well, maybe not the biggest one I've seen, but the biggest one I have a pretty realistic shot at. And cruised in there the next morning and got him killed. And it's like, oh,
Easy peasy. No
That's-
big deal,
that's-
man.
that's
Yeah.
pretty
Just
cool.
roll in there, just put an arrow through him.
yeah. Yeah. And the next year was that big bull that, you know, quite a few
That we
guys
both chased.
Yeah. Quite a few guys are hunting that bull. And I'd seen him in 2019. I didn't see him in 2020. And then 2021, when I killed that like 340, a few weeks after I shot that bull, I just went up there to kind of scout around and I glassed him up. Like,
No way.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So that hurt.
Yeah, but you killed him.
Yeah.
And he got bigger.
So then the next year is like, all right, it's that bull or nothing.
So did you kill him the next year or did you hunt him another year?
I killed him in 2022, so the next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I must have seen him the year before you. So I didn't know Jed until we both, through Philip, found out that we'd had at least been hunting the same bull. Jed put in way more time than I did, which is retarded on my part. Because, like, I saw this bull out hunting just out of the blue and had him going up a ridge from like 600 to 800 and had my gun set up and felt comfortable at that distance, but he never stopped. In a good lane, he got away. And I went back and looked for him another day with Philip and went into like one of the nastiest spots I've ever been in with like waist deep snow and was like, most people would probably just like die back here. That had to have been one of the worst days ever. And then I didn't really hunt him. Some buddies of mine saw him the next year. I guess I went in there opening weekend of rifle with Philip, didn't see anything, saw some other medium bulls. And then I don't think I even hunted him the year you killed him.
Yeah.
Which was kind of...
I killed him pretty quick. It was second Friday of season.
Yeah.
Archery?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many days did you chase that bull, do you think?
I looked for him a lot of days. I only chased him. I think I had 2 opportunities at him.
Nice.
Once in 2019, and then I think it was him anyways. That was like my second year hunting. I was like, oh my God, there's a giant bull.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any footage of him, but for sure, the year I shot, well, I'd seen him the year before I shot him, right? And then the weekend I killed him, I glassed him up the night before, then did a big loop around. I was camped in there. I did a big loop around him the next day and shot him like, I don't know, hour before sunset.
Yeah.
Just for reference, though, how many days? I've heard a number of how many days you were looking for him.
That year, like all combined.
Combined.
Dude, a lot. I have no idea. It was like, give me the number you heard.
I think Phil told me 73.
Yeah, that's probably fairly accurate.
That's gangster,
what's-
though.
Dude,
what's-
that's freaking baller.
Dude, what's screwed up is like, I was hunting him in the totally wrong area.
No way.
That whole time. I'm like, dude, where is he? Like, where? Like, and then finally that in 2021, when I glassed him up, I was like, oh, that's where he's been hanging out. So then, but what's dumb is even the next year. So I hunted with Philip that opening weekend, 2022, and we hunted still the wrong area, even though I'd known where I'd seen him the year before. But it was like, I just didn't believe that he was where he was. And then when we didn't find him, I was like, well, I'm going to check that next weekend, and hiked in there and glassed him up. And it was like, okay, have a pretty good shot at killing him tomorrow. So
Nice.
try and make something happen, and got lucky, and yeah, shot him.
Pretty sick.
Ran straight at me.
After you shot him.
After, yeah, I was like,
Nice.
oh God.
Nice.
But the way I should have never, it shouldn't have worked out the way it did. So I like looped way around him, and I had camp on my back, and I lost sight of him in the morning. So when I looped up around him, I could see some cows in the timber, and I was like, well, he's got to be in there. So I just kind of, I had to give myself a shot, get within, a few hundred yards. So I'm sneaking in there, and I can hear him start bugling, pushing those cows around. And I about step on a raghorn, and that raghorn runs straight to him. And I'm thinking like, oh, I'm so screwed. Like he's going to take the herd and go. And he runs like, I was probably 500 yards from the bull and his cows at that point. He runs straight to him into this timber. And I hear the big bull I shot bugle, and 30 seconds later, that raghorn comes running straight out. I about dodged him. It was pretty crazy.
Wow.
And then it was like, wow, that shouldn't have happened ever.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I got super lucky on that, then just snuck in and got it done.